Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Manifesting Muslima. I'm your host, Zara Pedersen. And today's episode is going to be such a fun one. It's one of my potentially favorite topics to talk about because it's one of those things where we can go in and take action on it, kind of immediate action and instantly up level our lives and our frequency, vibration, energy, call it whatever you want, right? And it's one of the things that when I speak to my clients and stuff as well, it's almost like it's an aha moment for them as well. And on top of that, it's aha moments for myself as well, because this is something that I need regular reminding of because there's something that goes on. I don't know where or how it's coming in to constantly coming back. I think maybe just a mindset thing. And that's like, why we have to constantly be on top of our own mindsets, but we keep falling into this trap. So it bears reminding. And that is what we are currently doing to slow down our own manifestations and living to the best of our abilities in the present moment within the role that'll attract the manifestation to us much quicker, which is when we are delaying or postponing the enjoyment of being our fullest, highest selves. Okay, I'm going to try and say that again, and then I'll explain what I mean, because I know it can sound a little bit, crinkly. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. It can sound a little bit messy or like a little bit complicated when I say it that way. Complicated was the word I was looking for, but then crinkly came out. I'm not sure why. That's just the way my brain works sometimes. So when we are postponing the enjoyment of being the best version of ourselves, that's probably a better way of saying it. And what I mean by that is we all have an idea within our minds. Maybe it's like really completed, or maybe you just have like little fragments of like, oh yeah, when I get that job, or when I make that money, or when I meet a person, my husband or whatever, then I will be that kind of person who X, Y, and Z, or dresses that way, or says these things, or wears that thing, or lights these candles, or wears that perfume, or whatever. So we all have an idea of like what our higher selves, the best version of ourselves within the framework of what it is that we're trying to manifest looks like. So I have an idea still to this day that I'm trying to constantly live, rather than just keep it as an idea, of what Zara looks like when she's a multi 6 or 7 figure business owner, which I'm not right now. But like, what does she look like? How does she dress? What does she behave like? How does she act? How does she treat other people? How does she look at money? How does this, that, and the other? How does she show up for her business, for her audience, for her clients, things like that, right? But we all have an idea, an image of when everything is like ticked on my to-do list and everything's going the way that I want to, this is how I will do. I will start looking after myself when. I will start wearing the pretty clothes when. I will start showing up in my business when. I will start investing in my health and my fitness and my body when, right? So there's like a delayment of the enjoyment of being that person already, because we feel like in order for us to get to that version, we have to change. Something has to change. And usually what has to change, we feel like, I'll bring you an example that is so common: weight loss. When we might feel like, oh, I'm too heavy now to wear fashionable clothes or enjoy my body or going swimming in the summer or whatever it might be. And so instead we cover up our bodies in really baggy clothes. Now, listen, if you're a modest woman and you already do that anyway, that's fine. But some of us are not modestly dressed, and hey, to each their own. If you're following me and you like my content, whether or not you're judging me for it, at least you're having an open mind enough to know that, hey, Zara does her thing her way, and I'm going to respect that. So, and there are other women like me who might wear a bikini in the summer or whatever, or dress in a different way. And so when we gain weight, we might be like, oh, I don't want to like put on that pretty pantsuit because I'm too overweight for it, or I don't look good in it, or I don't feel confident enough in the dress yet, or the dress is too pretty to be worn now, or I shouldn't invest in a pretty dress or in a pretty pair of jeans or whatever now, because I want to lose the weight first and then I want to dress that way, right? So that's kind of the thinking a lot of us can relate to, if we've ever been in that situation where we want to lose weight, right? I've been there plenty of times. Listen, this girl on this side of the microphone, she breathes and gains weight. I have got my mother's genetics. The Arab is Arabing within me. Diabetes is, a stone's throw away from me at any moment of time. So this is a constant thing that has been a part of my world, even though sometimes I wish it wasn't. Am I ready to change that about my reality? No, not yet. That's why I haven't done it. But I know this struggle because I've lived many times through this particular issue where I'm like, oh, I'll start, dressing up nicer when I've lost the weight or whatever, because then I'll be skinny and then the clothes will fit me like it fits a hanger, and that somehow is perceived as more beautiful or more acceptable. And then as a result, I'm walking around delaying that enjoyment of just enjoying the clothes that I wear and taking care of myself and looking a specific way. And a lot of us women are doing that. But ultimately what it does is it keeps postponing and pushing away the part of us that already is the person who enjoys looking after ourselves and dressing nicely, because we're saying, in order for me to get there, I first have to lose weight. I first have to change something about me to become the person that starts investing in her health and investing time in the morning to get dressed properly, or going shopping for specific clothing items or whatever. So we're putting a distance between where we are now to where we want to be. And in reality, that distance doesn't exist, because at any moment you can choose to take that reality that you've put somewhere in the future and distanced yourself from. You can choose to bring that into this reality right now and just be that person. It's a decision away. Okay. It's just you saying, okay, we're going to do this now. Because the truth is that the moment you start to do that and you start to dress up for yourself and looking after yourself and thinking, okay, what does this person do to be that happy with her body? Well, she goes on more walks. She doesn't eat, she doesn't binge a lot of crappy foods in the middle of the night. She doesn't do these things. And slowly but surely you can start being like, okay, I'm going to start adopting some of her habits because I know they're available to me and I choose to step into her right now. I am her, so I might as well just bring her into this chat right now. Let's make her a part of this reality right now. And as a result, you'll start moving closer and closer to that weight loss because you're starting to adopt the habits of that person already. Do you see what I'm getting at? I know it can sound a little, I'm not even sure what the word is, but it can sound a little far-fetched because we're ultimately, it's when people say quantum jumping or quantum leaping, when you see a lot of content creators talking about this is it. This is basically it. In case you were wondering, because I used to question quantum jumping and quantum, like, what is that? What does that mean? This is it. You just decide that you're that person and then you start acting according it. So you're basically bringing that other timeline into your reality right now. You're saying, that's me now. That's my reality now. And then you act according. But the thing is, of course, that you also have to take the actions, which is what I'm saying. Once you bring that part of you into the forefront and you say, I'm going to prioritize being her, this version of me that I know is in me somewhere, and focus on her instead of focus on this old version of me that hasn't made me live to the full extent of what I know I am capable of, then the results will come by themselves naturally, simply by me existing as that person. Think about it for a second, because honestly, the first time I had this aha moment was huge for me because it made me suddenly be able to manifest things so much quicker into my timeline because I just chose to jump around and be like, okay, what does that person have that or that version of me have that I'm not currently doing, and then start doing it. That's basically it. Be the person. Stop delaying the enjoyment of being who you know you are and can be, and the best version of yourself. But of course, and here is the thing about this, you have to believe in it fully. You have to know that it is capable for you. So if that version of you, for instance, drives a Ferrari and you don't have the money to drive a Ferrari, of course, don't go out and buy a Ferrari if your budget cannot maintain the costs of a Ferrari. But understand that in time, that version of you will get the Ferrari, because the actions of that version of you will lead to a higher source of income. And in turn, that can turn into a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a Lamborghini or whatever else it is that you want to drive around in, right? So it might not be that you'll see the instant differences, like, or the differences instantly, some of the bigger things, but you'll see that some of the things that are on that wish list for that version of you feel closer to you already. And so it's becoming easier for you to believe and maintain that belief of what is possible for you, right? But you're not going in and then, quantum jumped into another place and all of a sudden my Honda Civic became a Lamborghini. No, darling, this is not magic. We're still operating within the natural laws here that Allah has set into place. So let's respect that and not be, I appreciate Delulu living, and I'm such a big fan of it, but let's not be dumb Delulus, okay? We're not doing that. We're not dodos, even though dodos are so cute, and I don't even know if they're dumb, to be honest, or if it's just like a image that they created in Ice Age for dodos. That's my only reference for dodos. So, and the Pirates. Have you seen that animation, The Pirates? I think it's Hugh Grant who voices the pirate, and then there's a dodo in that one as well. Anyway, I'm raffling on about something that's not even important. So this is, as I said, something that I see a lot of people do. Let's take another example. You want to get married, and you want to manifest yourself a beautiful husband. And in your mind, you have an idea of who you'll be as a married woman. Whether it be, I'll be cooking more home-cooked meals, I'll be going to the gym more, I'll dress up nicer, I'll take pride in my house, cleaning it more or making it look a specific way. Darling, you do that now. Be that version already. This is how you live into that inspired action. You take those Delulu actions. That basically means you're that step closer, because you're already living the role and as the person who is married. Because what you're ultimately saying right now, and the belief right now, is, in order for me to get married, I need to be this person. Well, if that is your genuine belief, and listen, I'm not saying that that's wrong or right. You can do however you want to. I'm not a relationship expert, but what I am saying to you, if you genuinely feel like that's the role that's going to make you happy as a married woman, then be that person already. Why are you delaying that enjoyment of being that person now? And what are you hoping is going to change from then to now, or from now to then, is actually how it goes, from now to then, that will change that? Because ultimately what you're saying is, I'll change once I meet the man, and then I'll be a better version of myself. Darling, be a better version of yourself now. And what you, no offense, but what you might find happens is, when you step into that better version of yourself that you were kind of postponing until you met a person who would make you a better version of yourself, you'll realize, oh, actually my standard for a man were kind of low. I need to elevate them, because now I have elevated myself. So you see what I'm getting at, okay? Especially if you're trying to manifest a husband. So don't wait till you meet someone to elevate those things. Elevate now, learn from it, and then elevate your priorities at the same time, or what's it called, your what your expectations are for the partner as well while you're at it, right? So step into the role already. This is how you exist in the reality of it already being, even though you're still single. But you're attracting it faster because you're already living as that person you know is going to be a really good partner in a marriage. But if you're living as somebody right now where you feel like, I'm not a very attractive person to marry right now because I miss X, Y, and Z, then you're not really going to attract somebody that would be of a higher level, standard, whatever you want to call it, right? You don't want to downgrade. And so what would make you want somebody else to downgrade unless, you're a manipulative person who looks to downgrade so you can manipulate that person. So, think about it. Anyway, but look at the little task that I have for you now here towards the end of the episode, because we are nearing the end. This is a very quick little reminder for you. The little task I have for you is look at your life today and look at every single little thing where you're basically delaying or postponing or robbing yourself of the enjoyment of being the best version of yourself. And listen, when I say look at every aspect, I mean every aspect, okay? Keep it within your budget. So don't do this and be like, I have to fly first class even though I can't afford it. No, don't be dumb. We're not doing that. We're doing the little things, and then as a result, all the little things accumulate, and then it will create a big result for you, okay? So it could be something as, I have a lot of really beautiful underwear, but I keep wearing the same old Snoopy garments, underwears from Sainsbury's or whatever, because I'm saving that other, beautiful underwear for when I meet somebody or whatever. And so as a result, you keep wearing the same stained, almost period panty stage underwear, and it doesn't really make you feel confident. It really doesn't. Like the littlest thing, like, having a matching underwear set. If you've got matching underwear sets, or you can invest in it without it breaking the budget for you, something like that. And it's a small change with a high impact. It has a high energetic payout. It has a high energetic payout for you energetically, okay? So you'll go about your day feeling more confident, feeling like you've stepped into that role more, and as a result, you'll get more in return, right? It could be something like not wearing your favorite perfume, and so you wear other perfumes instead. That's also where, because this is like, again, that whole girl math thing that's so big on social media right now, but it's the same thing, we're girl mathing it. We can buy our favorite fragrance for £100, which, yeah, okay, it's an expensive perfume. But what we do instead is we buy loads of perfumes for, say, £20. But if we just not spent the £20 on, or £200 or however it accumulates to with all those little fragrances, we could have just spent another £100 on our favorite fragrance and then just had that one beautiful fragrance that we enjoy wearing. And again, because we're wearing our favorite fragrance, we're energetically elevating ourselves, because we will set ourselves up for success within our mindsets to begin with, because we're doing something good for ourselves. The same can be said about a candle. So many of us, I used to be this person so much, and I'm remembering it because I'm looking at my candle right now as well. I'm traveling and I buy candles as I travel, and I light them. Even if they're just the most beautiful candle and it's a little thing. Some of us like to save it. Oh, but this candle was expensive. Burn it, sis. You can buy another candle. You can get it in a gift, but buy it, enjoy the candle. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in a book that I read years ago. And I say years ago because it was literally like in 2018. And I remember this because I remember I was in France at the moment. So it was like an audiobook, and this author, and I can't remember the name of the audiobook, but I just remember the moment, like it was like an aha moment for me, where the author spoke about like this woman who'd passed away and her son had to go in and clear her house. And as the son was clearing her house, he found, as he opened like a lot of the storage cupboards and stuff like that, so many things, like the good towels, the good bed linens, the good dishes, the fancy, Tupperware, things like that, the good candles, the expensive bags and shoes and things that his mum was basically saving for a time when. And in reality, what happened was she died and she didn't get to enjoy those things. A lot of the things were still in their boxes brand new, and she never got a chance to enjoy it. And I'm sure some of the clothes and bags and shoes she got to enjoy. But the point is, why would you invest in something that makes you so happy just for it to stay in your cupboard or in your closet or decorate on a table if it's something that can, be used and enjoyed? And that's the whole purpose of this podcast is basically, or this episode is basically to say, use the things, step into that part where you're enjoying your life to the best of your ability within, your situation financially. Again, so as I said, don't be dumb. Don't Don't make stupid financial decisions, but live into that abundance where you buy yourself nice candles. And okay, so you don't have tons of little tea lights all around your house, but you've got one big beautiful candle that smells nice. Or you don't have a ton of makeup or tons and tons of rouges or blushes, or is rouge and blush, that's the same thing, or eyeshadow palettes or something, but you have one really nice one that makes it feel abundant and decadent every time you put it on. Same with your clothes. Start living into that reality. Choose that quantum leap into that reality. Stop postponing it. And what you'll find when you start taking stock and looking around your house, looking at what you're choosing to wear and what you're choosing to put on your body, what dishes you choose to use, things like that, you'll start noticing how many places, and there's so many places throughout your day, you're choosing a lesser than option instead of the best version, even if it doesn't necessarily cost you that much more. But energetically, the payout will be humongous for you. Think about it. Just a little task for you. I'm sure if you go around, even just listening to this episode right now, you can think of, like, oh, I actually bought myself another pair of everyday shoes, but, they're so pretty still and I keep wearing the old ones. Toss the old ones, start wearing the new ones. Maybe it's a new coat you got yourself last summer, but, you still wear the other one because I guess I could still get a few uses out of it. Wear the new one. Make yourself feel good. There's energy in everything, right? So make sure that you use that energy well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using the same stuff for years and years and years and years, as long as it still brings you joy. It's what's that person, if it brings you joy, is she Japanese? It was a thing a couple of years ago where it's like, if it doesn't bring you joy, toss it. I can't remember her name. You're probably screaming it at me right now as you're listening, but you know the one I'm talking about, and everybody was on that thing. And if you pick it up and it doesn't bring you joy, you toss it. If it brings you joy, you keep it. And it's kind of the same thing. If the clothes you're wearing isn't the thing that brings you joy right now, and you have something that does bring you joy in your wardrobe, wear that. If the book you're reading isn't bringing you joy, why are you struggling through it? Unless it's like literally a study book or a workbook or something, then yeah, okay, get through it. But it's so funny to me how often and how frequently in our everyday lives we choose the lesser than option, and ultimately we're just postponing stepping into the role of the better version of ourselves, where the manifestation of the thing that we want is that much closer to us. Anyway, just a little bit of thoughts for you on this beautiful day. I hope there was something beneficial for you in today's episode. If you've got any questions or just feedback or anything like that on this episode, feel free to reach out to me. We're on Instagram at Manifesting Muslima. And until next time, my darling friend, please don't forget to live in love.